Welcome back, everyone, to the Restaurant Operator Podcast. My name is Bradley Cooper. I am the editor of Food Truck Operator, and I am joined today by Patrick Bolanos, who is the co-founder of Trailer King Builders. And we really want to talk today about how to get started with the food truck business and some advice to give to new people in the industry. So it's great to have you on, Patrick.
Hey, Bradley. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Excellent. Okay, so let's get started with a real quick, easy question. May not quick and easy, but how did you get started in the food truck business? What's your history with it?
I got started out of necessity in the food truck business. Previous to co-founding Trailer King Builders, I was a CFO of a restaurant group, and I was let
Mm-hmm.
go after Hurricane Harvey in Houston. The
Mm-hmm.
restaurant sales were super down, and there was a disagreement with owners, and they just decided that we would part ways. And I left the group, and I got an opportunity to start selling trailers for another company.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my start in the food truck industry. Before that, I had no idea about. I mean, I would see food trucks in Houston everywhere, but
Right.
other than actually just eating at food trucks, I had no idea how to start one, how to build one, and that's how I got started.
Awesome. So, as someone who just came in kind of really cold turkey, what are three pieces of advice you would give to someone who's just brand new to the food truck industry, doesn't know anything about it?
Well, you know, three pieces of advice I think for anybody that wants to be an entrepreneur. Food truck industry is one of the hardest ways to make a living. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurship is really hard. It's a really hard way to make a living, but doing it with a food truck where you're in a confined space, you're standing all day, you can't carry a lot of inventory. Your sales are not going to be anywhere near close what a brick and mortar
Mm-hmm.
can do. I would say do a lot of due diligence first. Make sure that you understand how to get your permits, and then always prepare yourself mentally, because if not, it's not if something will go wrong, it's when something will go wrong. Like your generator
Mm.
may not be working, maybe you didn't prepare for the right power at your event, maybe you forgot something, or maybe something just stopped working. And so your
Right.
mentality needs to be of perseverance and resourcefulness. And then in three, always find good people to help you.
Right. Those are great pieces of advice. Like food trucks are not easy to operate. I mean, like you said, you're on your feet all day. It's hot, stuff breaks. So let's shift gears a little bit. So food trucks, we always think of the front end stuff, like how to keep it running, how to keep the food going, food safety and all that. But what about marketing? How much time do you think new food truck operators should really invest into marketing?
Well, if people don't know you exist, people will not buy from you. So I think it's everything.
Sure.
I think it's the basis of any business, and especially in the food business, where you have these social media platforms, where you can create a lot of eye-catching content that will bring people to your business, and it could really just change your life. There's influencers out there that are visiting restaurants, food truck businesses, and food truck businesses are going from doing maybe $500 a day in sales to selling out every single day by the visit of one influencer, like
Mm,
Keith Lee, for example. He could change your life. So marketing for me is probably the most important factor for any business, but especially the food business. So get comfortable being
sure.
behind the camera, get comfortable being in front of the camera, get comfortable creating content, and don't be afraid to share what's happening behind the scenes. People love to see what's going on, especially inside food trucks. Get on TikTok, get on Instagram, get on Facebook, get on YouTube, get on all the platforms, and don't be afraid to share what you're doing.
Right. Are there any like have you ever noticed any like really practical tips for how to handle social media as a food truck operator? Is there anything different?
Yeah. When you start, obviously you want to, you're going to be probably doing everything yourself. So understand how to run Facebook ads, understand how to create Facebook audiences, join local Facebook groups to figure out what is going on in your area for events and things of that nature. But
Hmm.
get comfortable with the how to operate on how to run Facebook ads. It's an investment. $20 a day could generate thousands of dollars in sales. So don't be afraid to invest money in social media, but do understand that there's nuances to it that you have to understand. Like if you create a Facebook ad and you don't create an audience, or you don't set it up geographically for people to see it only in your area, you'll just be throwing money away. So And there's a lot of great
Absolutely.
resources. Facebook provides a lot of great resources on how to understand and how to actually create ads. And then once you get to the point that you no longer can handle that, go look for a marketing agency that can help you do that.
Excellent. Yeah, that's a really great point. So, another issue I want to talk about in regards to food trucks is obviously one of the biggest problems is just knowing the regulations because every city is different, every county is different, sometimes even every street is different, what you're allowed to do, where you're allowed to go, who you have to talk to, what permits you have to get. So, what's some advice you can give to new owners of how you can really navigate all these complicated regulatory issues and standards and
Well,
ordinances and all that?
on every video that I do online on that I share and the food truck course that I created, the first thing I tell people is to Google it. Google your mobile food unit requirements in the area or county that you're in and that you want to operate. City of Houston,
Sure.
the city of Houston has two different places, health departments where you can get permits, and they're both different. So if you
Mhm.
know where you're going to operate, if you know what county you're in, the simplest way is just to go Google mobile food unit requirements and the county that you're in. If they don't have one, then they'll probably just fall under your state regulation. And so find your mobile food
Mhm.
unit requirements for the state that you're in. But almost every county has the checklist, regulations, and everything you need to know to pass your inspection.
Right. Really good advice. So I wanted to shift gears a little bit and talk a little bit about your business, Trailer King Builders. What does Trailer King Builders do for the food truck operator?
So what we do is we help people that are passionate about food, that are passionate about being business owners, and we help them through the entire process from start to finish. We provide guidance on selecting the right vehicle for the startup
Hmm.
or growth vehicle or business that you want to get going, how to lay out the kitchen so that it works efficiently in your favor. And then if you need to get it financed, we'll help you find the funding for your business. We help startups, existing businesses, and we also are a one-stop shop. So we'll do the marketing aspect of the look of your food truck, the wrap, etc. We'll power it up if it has to be either with a generator or maybe a solar panel solution or battery powered solution. And we do
Hmm.
all types of vehicles. We can convert any vehicle on wheels from a step van, which is the most common, which is the one that looks like a FedEx truck or a UPS truck,
Right.
step vans, school buses, sprinter vans. We've done bread trucks. We've done almost right now. We're doing a little Jeep, and we're converting it into a little coffee shop. And so, any vehicle, and we also help with concession trailers, the one that you pull behind a pickup truck. So we're a one-stop shop for a mobile food unit solution.
Gotcha. Have you ever noticed in your experiences building all these, have you noticed any real like pitfalls or mistakes new food truck operators make when they're selecting their trailer, selecting their vehicle? Have you noticed anything in particular?
Well, I mean, everything is about a learning process, right? New businesses may never have everything they need to make the right decisions at all times. But as long as that you
Oh
are
yeah,
making
absolutely.
decisions based on what you want and what you want to accomplish, I think you'll be okay. But I guess one of the biggest
Hmm.
pitfalls is understanding the spacing necessities for your food truck. You're always going to want more space. It's the nature of the business. You're in a confined space. You always want more space.
Absolutely.
So, but sometimes it may not, your environment may not allow you to get more space. So you have to operate and be resourceful in a confined space. And then, besides that, picking the right locations for your food truck business. Operating the food truck is going to be hard. You have to
Right.
prep inside the truck. You may need a commissary. Understanding that you have to move it, you may have to move it every day. So understanding how you're going to operate on a daily basis may be a pitfall that people that maybe they just don't understand. Like a food truck that is not fixed at one location and moves every day is really challenging to understand
Oh
what it's
yeah.
going to take. You know, You may have to wake up, instead of waking up at 7 a.m. to prep, you're going to have to be up at 4 a.m. to be ready because of all the movement you have to do in the mornings.
Sure, it can get really exhausting for sure. Yeah, I was also
Oh
going
yeah,
to ask. So,
hats off to all the food truck owners because it's one of the hardest ways to make a living.
yeah, no kidding. So, kind of moving beyond that. So, once you've got established, you've got a really good thing going, you've got that great truck, that great marketing plan. How do you think food truck operators can really grow and plan for the future? Set aside that strategic growth aspect of
That's a,
it.
that's a great question. We have Facebook groups where a lot of people are just happy about operating one truck because the growth aspect of it scares them, and they
Hmm.
they know how hard it is. One of the easiest ways to grow a concept, a food concept, is to franchise it. But that means that you have to
Hmm.
have all your standard operating procedures done so that you can go out and invest in getting all the legal aspect of it for it to get ready. Now, for example, if you do go out and franchise your business, you're selling a business in a box to someone else, and then you have to
Right.
serve. That's going to be your client. Your client is not going to be the people they're serving. They're going to be your client. So your standard operating procedures, how to source your raw materials, has to be on point, and that is the fastest way to grow. And then obviously you could just go out and create more food trucks. One of our biggest clients has 16 units in Memphis, Tennessee, and
Wow.
they prepared for growth by getting a commissary kitchen. That commissary kitchen is a headquarters that helps support 16 food trucks around the city. Um, they do a really good job of hiring people. They focus on core values. They have weekly meetings with all their leaders that I've been, I've been able to attend some of these meetings and see them operating, and they do a fantastic job. But growth is going to require that you really think about what you want to accomplish. Do you really want
Hmm.
to scale outside your market? Do you want to be an uber successful food truck nationwide, kind of like Cousins Maine Lobster? Cousins Maine Lobster is a great story, and I recommend their book and go read
Absolutely.
what they went through. They were able to bring on an investor. Capital is going to be a huge part of growth, right? And
Hmm.
so there's a lot of things to think about when you're thinking about growth operationally, financially, and then how spread thin do you want to be, and do you really want to have to go through those growing pains of having to serve thousands and thousands of clients if you're franchising, for example. So it can be done if
Hmm.
you really put your a lot of effort and you're very diligent about all those standard operating procedures. Uh, it's a great way to grow.
Sure. Is there any, have you noticed any like success stories, people like becoming franchisees and getting their start in food trucks that way? It's kind of being a franchisee of a food truck.
Yeah, I started a food truck as a franchisee. I bought an acai bowl business um, of an existing franchise. I was their first mobile food
Hmm.
unit, and it's really simple to get started. I didn't have to come up with menus. I didn't have to come up with pricing. I didn't have to come up with branding. They gave me everything. All I had to do was open and serve. And so it's really one of the
Right.
simplest ways, but you need more capital, right? I paid for the franchise
Hmm.
fee. I paid for the trailer. I paid for to travel to go get trained at their location. So I probably spent 50% more than I would have if I would have done it myself. But I
Sure.
eliminated a huge learning curve. Like I don't know how to create acai bowls. I don't know how to, I didn't know how to source acai from Brazil to start
Right.
producing acai. So what you always have to ask yourself the right questions. What do you want to accomplish, and how do you want to get started? A lot of my customers start from scratch. Like they were
Hmm.
handed down recipes through their families, and they want to serve that alone, and so they know that's what they want to do, but they have to do everything. They have to design the truck. They have to create the menus. They have to understand their marketing. They have to create a brand. They have to do everything that somebody may have already done in franchising from scratch. I think there's
Sure.
pros and cons to both, and I like both because one, right, you go buy a franchise and you're ready to start. Like
Hmm.
we another one of our clients, they already started franchising and they're selling franchises in across the country, and they're doing really well. I have another client that has the exact same concept, and they started from scratch. but they
Right.
both started from scratch, right? And so I think there's pros and cons to both, and both can be super satisfying to do.
Awesome. So I wanted to thank you so much, Patrick, for joining us. I want to give you a last chance. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we sign off today?
As a business owner, as an entrepreneur in the food truck industry, um, I guess I just want to tell people to focus on being grateful, right? Every
Hmm.
single day. If you practice gratitude every single day for wherever you may be struggling, you may be successful, you may be anywhere in life, but if you practice gratitude every single day, you will be ahead of most people because it feels great. Everything is an opportunity when you practice gratitude every single day.
Right. It's a mindset. Well, thank you so much, Patrick, for joining us. It's a real pleasure having you on.
Hey, thanks, guys. Awesome. Appreciate you.
Yeah. And well, thank everyone for listening to Restaurant Operator Podcasts and join us next time.